Welcome to everyone. I'm Dear Durand and you are listening to Think About It, Nigeria's premier think show. Our induction session with Dr. Akin Udubiton ended last week. Thank you all for being a part of it. So here we are, the moment we have all been waiting for. The think part of the program actually begins today, and by that I mean now we will begin to employ our minds to rationally and objectively evaluate or deal with a given situation or a case study. This definition is according to the Encarta Dictionary, which is one of our major resource materials on this program, and it just happens also to be my favorite dictionary. For the sake of those who are just joining us, I would just like to take you on a quick reminder on how Think About It works. Every other week on the program, we will take what I call a think tank approach to the previous week's episode. For example, week 1, we will listen to a radio drama or a drama narrative or just me sharing a thought, particularly with a guest on the program that I call my Think Buddy. However, in the coming week, we will get to process the outcomes of our thoughts, our feedback, our comments, with some help from another guest on the show, but this time I refer to that guest as a Think Expert. A Think Expert is simply a guest in the studio who is an authority on the subject of discussion. Then we can continue our discussion, discovery, debate on any of the episodes online through the designated social media platforms until we all arrive at a reasonable and mutually beneficial conclusion on the subject matter. Basically, that's Think About It in a nutshell. I'm dedicating this first season of Think About It to safety. In other words, Think About It Season 1 is dedicated, yes, according to the Encarta Dictionary, to freedom from danger, protection from, or not being exposed to the risk of harm or injury, particularly on our roads. Right, you can be safe anywhere, but Season 1 of Think About It is dedicated to safety, and you'll understand why in a few minutes. I was inspired to theme Season 1 of Think About It around the subject of safety for several reasons, but I'll mention just a few. First and foremost, it is one of my pet peeves. If you are like me and you live in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, which is in West Africa for some of you who don't know where Lagos is, you will most likely understand why the city of Lagos is literally synonymous to dramatic traffic issues. Literally, there's drama all the time on our roads. Another major inspiration for dedicating this season around the subject of safety is because it dawned on me. It really dawned on me how very easy it is to prevent a lot of the unnecessary mishaps and fatalities we experience daily. Last, but certainly not the least reason for dedicating this season to safety topics is my yearning to sympathize with families, friends, communities, and societies that have experienced some level of trauma or even lost loved ones in this process. So those are my reasons for dedicating Season 1 to the topic of safety. So I'm trusting that by the time we're done Season 1, I'm expecting a better you, a better me in our mode of thinking, which will translate to better outcomes in our daily living. So at this juncture, let the Think Show begin. Today, we're going to be talking about emergency response to accidents. Accidents at home or outside the home are part of our lives. They are unplanned and unexpected events, which is why we call them accidents. Okay, quick question. What would you do if you were a witness at an accident or happened to be one of the first set of people at, let's say, a road traffic accident? Would you A, take a lot of selfies and say, oh, I was there? B, make a mini documentary of the event? C, panic? D, quickly pull out the victims from the vehicle anyhow you can? Or E, none of the above? Think about it. My name is Dear Durand. I'll be back in a moment. This is Think About It, and I'm Dear Durand. Before the break, I asked, what would you do if you were to witness a road traffic accident? Still thinking? Here's an excerpt from Behavior Modification Media's drama series In Transit to help you out.
The brake fail. Now the brake fail.
Thank God he didn't hit another car.
I already called the ambulance service.
They are lucky they used the seatbelt. Or else, they would have just fly outside from inside the car, land on the main road, and maybe another car would have come, just jam them and kill them.
What kind of morbid talk is that now?
What? It's possibility I'm saying now.
The door they lock. We need to comot them for inside the car.
It's true. Small time now, the car can just blow up and burn them to ashes.
Goodness gracious.
In fact, if we don't quickly pull them out, the fire can just catch everybody.
Do you mind?
Goodness.
Okay. You don't watch films?
We need to put a C caution on the road.
I'll do so. And I'll put on my car's hazard light.
Habio, before another car will come and clear and kill everybody.
Somebody bring stone, make we break the front window.
No. Not the front window. The broken glass can hurt them.
Okay, make her throw the stone for the back window.
It's fine. I have my jack here. I'll break the back window.
Hey, this one, they come out. Oh.
Hold him.
Oh, yeah, come here. Where you they go?
Sit him down here. He's obviously disorientated from the shock. The last thing we need is for him to run into a vehicle.
My sister.
He's bleeding.
Bandage.
No chemist around here for that.
Here.
You they carry bandage, Waka?
First aid kit.
Oh, yeah, make we pull the second one come out.
No. Don't move her. We don't know the extent of her injuries.
She go move herself.
If she has any internal injuries, moving her will only make it worse.
Are you a doctor?
Abio, this one she just come. Just they try control everybody.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. The ambulance will be here soon.
Which ambulance? Ambulance, the answer for this country. What they call ambulance safe?
How can anybody call them? They have number. And if they have number, is there anybody that knows their number?
Of course they do. You dial 767 and ask for an ambulance.
How do we know you call ambulance? True. This world is full of all sorts. Maybe you are just waiting to see the boys die.
What?
Abby, this one you quickly bring a bandage to collect the boys' blood, Abby.
Now true. People go just they drive fine car up and down. Who knows how they take to find their own money?
What kind of people are you?
I've met worse.
Who this one they call us, eh?
Alright, welcome back. If your answer to our multiple choice questions were A, B, C, or D, I hope you have not tried to be a good Samaritan at an accident scene. As ludicrous as some of the options might have been, some of you might have been tempted to pick any of those options, particularly D. D sounds like it's really very helpful, but it's not the wisest to pull any victim out of any accident scene any which way, because actually it could be more damaging. There's a particular way to get the victims out of the car. So D, which some of you might have really, or maybe even most of you, but have really opted for, is not the right answer. Interestingly, E is probably your best option, that you won't choose any of the other four, because they're not just the best choice. Okay, so we can't all be accident or emergency officers, we can't all be nurses or doctors, we can't all take professional degree courses in first aid and trauma. So what happens to regular people like us? What can we do when we find ourselves in such scenes? I've made the matter a little easier for you. I have somebody in the studio with me who's going to think with me. She's my thinking partner for today. So, and interestingly, she's the writer-producer of the radio drama series we just listened to, In Transit. But her name is Yetunde Adenike.
Hello.
Hi. Tell me what you will do in a situation like that.
Knowing what I know now, if I come across an accident scene, as I did recently, the first thing I'll do is to call the emergency service, 767 or 112. Technology has made it easy for information to go around. Yeah. Sometimes there are videos. Yeah. Personally, I don't like blood, so I don't like looking at videos of people with their parts littered all over the express. Goodness. But sometimes they can capture a person's face and the thing goes viral, and the poor relatives who have been looking for them have an idea that they, had been in an accident. So at least they can go from hospital to hospital, and hopefully, they would find them there alive.
Okay, I'm glad you see that's one of the engaging parts of the thinking process. I'd never seen it like that, because for me, I would just walk away. I walk away not because I don't want to help. But I think the one major reason is I feel helpless. But it's just hearing now that there's a place at least I can call. And it's toll free, isn't it? I think it's toll free.
It's toll free. It's toll free.
I can call quickly, and the people who can make it happen can make it happen. Then another reason I must be okay. I didn't want to say, but I don't like to look. No. The memories would probably just haunt me forever. So half the time I feel guilty sometimes because I'm thinking, oh, I'm not helping. But I'm thinking again, okay, if I look, I see, how is it going to help? But to be honest, I'm very relieved to know that we have an ambulance service that, I know they're there, but I don't know the efficacy, but I know they're there, and it's a really good start. Okay, so if we go back to the drama, and I'm it's so nice that you're the one that even wrote it. So you have to tell me what was in your mind when you gave the scenarios of not to pull the person out, maybe breaking the side of the window, to pull the person out gently. Can you tell me what you were thinking?
Sometimes there are some scenarios that seem unreal or even absurd, but that is the reality of some people.
Right.
It's very important for us to know the very, very first things to do at the scene of an accident. What do we do? First, we need to stay calm. It's not always easy when there's a lot of blood, a lot of smashed glass, and crunched metal. But really, we need to stay calm. A friend of mine was telling me what you need to do before you do anything is assess the situation. And I said, really? How do I assess the situation? If I look at a person, I don't know if that person has been injured. I don't know if the person is bleeding internally. So I think, the most I can do is, try not to make the situation worse by pulling the person. Although I wonder, what if the car is about, if there's a lot of petrol? Well, I think that we can risk moving that person.
We will risk it too.
Than having the car explode. But
we will risk it.
But if there's no smoke, if there's no petrol, then maybe we should just wait for the emergency
service. But I hear even while you're waiting, you can actually speak to the victim, find out whether they're conscious, engage them, keep them awake or something, so they don't slip into unconsciousness. Okay, we're going to be rounding off in a bit. We need your thinking caps on, because by next week we're really going to ponder a bit more on some of these things that we've discussed, and you can also bring on your own case studies, what's happened to you, so that we can see where all this can lead us to. But there's one I have to ask you. In the drama, there was this very morbid bystander. No, are there really people like that?
Oh, wow. You'll be amazed at the different types of people.
It's interesting because I played that part, I won't lie to you, at least 5 times. I will laugh. I will rewind. Then something will kill us. Then it will blow us. And I'm thinking, are you for? And they're not doing anything. They're just there on the scene. But
they're just there to give you, worst possible scenarios.
Why?
Some people are just fatalistic. In case you missed it, there's a possibility that we can all die. In case you missed it, there's a possibility that this car can explode. In case you missed it, and it goes on and on.
It was funny to me, but I want to know your thoughts. Why would you put such a character in there?
Because that's a real person. Wow. There are people around like that.
Okay.
They all they can see is the bad side of things. And such people really are necessary, to balance being overly optimistic and being, one should be careful not to tilt to being overly pessimistic. Being overly optimistic is, when I say being overly optimistic, I mean you have to have doses of reality. But these kind of people, everything for them is, there are no gray areas, they're just black. If they just carried their negativity by themselves, it would. In the episode, she kept on trying to get in the way of those who wanted to help.
Is that a mental health problem? I laughed and I stopped. I thought, it's not funny. But there are people like this, truly.
What do you want to do with the bandage? Do you want to take the blood?
No. That one I thought, oh my.
People like that. There are people like that.
Okay. All right, people. I know we can go on, and I'm sure you're identifying some people. Your brain is already churning. You're waiting to give me some feedback. But we have to go. Remember, next week, we're back here. Same time, same station. Do remember, people, to send your comments, your feedback, your thoughts to my social media handle at Dear Durand. So I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you, particularly those of you who are in the medical field, emergency and rescue, first aid experts. Please come and share with those of us regular people what to do on a very basic level. So those of us who are not planning to take selfies, we'll probably just know what to do while even waiting for the ambulance to come. So there could be something we could do to help. And then again, for those of you who have been accident victims or the good Samaritans as well, and any of you who's got an experience of somebody you know, please, we're looking forward to sharing with you next week, same time, same station. I want to thank my guests, Yetunde Adenike, for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It was really good engaging and thinking through with you. Thank you, all the people who've taken your time out to listen today. It was really good thinking with you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, that we'll think some more. I would also like to thank our media partners, Behavior Modification Media, and the management of Crystal Media 360 Radio for their support. Thank you, and looking forward to catching up with you next week. Bye for now.